Hey, everybody. Earlier today, I was thinking about something that our pastor has said over the last few years, and it still resonates with me. And that is the last word standing is doing the commanding. And I think that really highlights the importance of words in our lives and the fact that words have power. And that means we have to be careful when we're saying negative things or if we're focusing on problems and not solutions. And I guess in some ways it this sounds a little bit like it's popular self-help kind of stuff, right? But it's not. It's actually biblical. And I've got a couple of verses today, and they're both from Proverbs. The first one's from Proverbs 13, verse 3. And it says, "Those who control their tongue will have a long life. Opening your mouth can ruin everything." I like that one. There are a lot of times when we just need to keep our mouth shut, right? Then there's Proverbs 18 and 21, and I'm sure you know this one. The death and life are in the power of the tongue, and those who love it will eat its fruits. So if we can't control our tongues, then the word says that we actually can ruin our lives. And this is really important for us to remember because whatever we speak has power. And we attract the things that we think about and that we talk about on a regular basis. Or if you're longing for something, then that starts kind of moving toward you. So if you're always saying bad stuff, guess what you're going to be attracting? Bad stuff, right? And I have to admit that over the years I've had to what we call dig up a lot of bad things that I've said, things that were negative or maybe something that I didn't realize what I was saying when I said it, but I should have. And so to dig it up, the way we refer to that is we go to God and we say, "Hey, I messed up. I shouldn't have said that. Please forgive me." And He always is faithful to do that. And in some cases where maybe we've had an argument with a person or we said something to someone that we shouldn't have, we also need to go to that person and apologize and say, "Hey, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said that." And most of the time people are going to be nice and they'll forgive you. But it is important to consider that sometimes we have spoken words, which basically means we've planted them. And we don't want them to be watered and grow basically a bad fruit in our lives because we know that whatever we sow, that's what we reap. If we sow bad things, we reap bad things. If we sow love, we reap love. If we sow, you know, money going toward good organizations, guess what? God gives us an increase on that and a harvest back to us. So we want to be sowing good things constantly, not the bad things. And the last thing that you said, that's what's actually working in your life, which is what our pastor means when he says the last word standing is doing the commanding. So what was the last thing that you said about that situation? What did you say? Did you basically come into agreement with pain in your body? Did you, basically say, well, there is no solution to this problem? Those are things you should not do. So go and try to dig those up. So let's remember that God says it's really, really important for us to control our tongues. And that is a difficult thing to do. You know, James, in the book of James, there's a lot about the tongue, and it talks about how it's very difficult to control. So maybe a lot of the time what she would just do is what Proverbs 13:3 said, and he says opening your mouth can ruin everything. Maybe we should just keep our mouths shut more often. Keep our mouths closed because I don't want to be ruining things in my life or stopping good things from coming into my life because I'm saying bad things. So, this week I would like to encourage you to remember that the last word standing is doing the commanding. What was the last thing you said about that topic? Was it a good thing? Were you speaking about, the solution to something instead of just talking about the problem over and over and over? Your focus really will determine what you're thinking about and what you're saying. And what you're saying will determine what's actually coming into your life. So, this week, think about that. The last word standing is doing the commanding. And try to remember in your life to say the good things and dig up the bad things. And try really, really hard to do what it says about controlling your tongue. All right, you guys have a good week and be blessed.